It's Chappy's Tiki Bar. Welcome to episode number 19 of Chappy's Tiki Bar. It's the Pink Whitney episode. This episode we're going to make a Pink Whitney, and then we're going to learn the inspiration behind the Pink Whitney, which is former NHL player Ryan Whitney. He has a very wildly popular podcast called Spittin Chiclets. After we make a delicious Pink Whitney, we're going to have best tropical destination stories, and then we're going to head out to the lake. I'm going to make a Banana Daiquiri, and we're going to have Appies with Chappy by the lake, all right here on Chappy's Tiki Bar. So sit back, relax, pour yourself a nice Pink Whitney, and we'll begin. Alright, welcome to Chappy's Tiki Bar. It's the Pink Whitney episode, so I got me a bottle of Pink Whitney. It says the Spittin Chiclets crew has taken over New Amsterdam vodka to create a spirit inspired by Ryan Whitney's favorite drink, award-winning New Amsterdam vodka, mixed with fresh pink lemonade, the result of an exceptionally smooth, great-tasting pink lemonade flavored vodka. So we're going to give that a try. Obviously, it's Ryan Whitney's favorite drink. Ryan Whitney's a professional NHL player. He was born in Boston. He's played for the Penguins, Ducks, Oilers, and Panthers, and he's the host of the Spittin Chiclets podcast. So I think the Spittin Chiclets podcast made his drink famous. Apparently, you couldn't keep these on the shelves back when it came out. So it's an Apple podcast. That's the Spittin Chiclets podcast. It says former NHL vets Ryan Whitney and Paul Bissonette and Barstool Sport. It says Rear Admiral brings their outspoken, irreverent opinions to the masses, focusing on NHL but also touching on pop culture and everything else under the sun. New episodes every Monday and Thursday. So that's Spittin Chiclets podcast. And I know they got some stuff on YouTube as well. So we're going to make a quick Pink Whitney. Mookie's getting tired and she wants to go to bed. So just take a second, Mookie. So I have a giant ice cube. Got the Pink Whitney vodka. And we're going to fizz it up with a little club soda. And then we're going to garnish it with a lemon. And that's the Pink Whitney. So now we're going to get Mookie to summon the tiki drums for best tropical destination story. We have an excellent tropical destination story coming up, so stay tuned for that. Here we go, Mooks. Thank you, Mookie, for summoning the tiki drums. So I have another edition of Best Tropical Destination Story. We'll get right into it. Once upon a time, 2000, there was a husband and wife living in a small town in southern Alberta, raising 4 sons. This couple had not been away alone together for years. As luck would have it, the husband, let's call him Brian, won a 7-day Caribbean cruise for 2. Prior to leaving, the wife did some tanning at the local salon. She advised her husband that he should do the same. He dismissed her advice as he was generally wont to do over the years. She shook her head at his dismissal as she was generally wont to do over the years. Off they went, the wife with her lovely golden starter tan, and Brian with his blindingly white but not so lovely nowhere near tan. Prior to leaving, the wife, wise and well-organized that she was, had consulted with her nephew, let's call him Chappy, as to which beaches they should visit on each island stop. First stop was St. Martin. Chappy had advised that Don Beach was a lovely place. On arriving, there was a couple of laid out towels. The wife offered sunscreen to Brian, which he promptly refused. "I want to get a base," he said, dismissing her advice. The wife shook her head. While going for a walk along the beach at the water's edge, the wife began to notice Brian's head begin to swivel. Then he started to point. Following his gaze, Brian's wife quickly took an unexpected development. Don Beach is indeed a lovely beach. It is also a topless beach, which Chappy had failed to mention. Oops. That day was the day that Chappy was promoted to the beloved nephew status on Brian's list as well. Quickly, the wife laid her hand on her husband's outstretched arm, his pointer finger quivering like a divining rod, and simultaneously ordered him to close his open mouth and stop swiveling his neck in such an anatomically alarming way. "No pointing," she said. "No swiveling," she said. "Look if you want, but use your side vision." The rest of the afternoon, Brian diligently practiced his side vision capabilities. The next couple of itinerary stops went smoothly, and Brian was ever so agreeable when his wife preferred to visit the beaches rather than joining the sightseeing tours. His base layer went from pale pink to bright bubblegum pink. "This is the way you get a good tan," he stated with authority. His wife rolled her eyes. On the 5th day of the cruise, the couple visited Anse Mouton on Martinique. Serendipitously, a local swimsuit designer had arranged a fashion show in which models were wearing only the bottom half of the different bikinis available for sale. Brian took up an optimal viewing position, preferring to use the direct gaze method rather than his newly acquired side vision skills. After an hour or so, his wife advised Brian to A. apply sunscreen to his already brilliant pink base, and B. to move into the shade. Brian, yes, you guessed it, dismissed her advice. You're all shaking your heads right now, aren't you? 4 blazing hot hours later, Brian and his wife returned to the ship just in time for formal night in the ship's dining room. As the couple left their stateroom that evening, heads swiveled, fingers pointed, and there was much discreet practicing of side vision glances directed towards Brian. He gingerly and slowly made his way towards the dining room deck, legs horse riding wide apart, arms stretched, curved at the elbow. People moved aside to give him room to pass the narrow passageways. Attire in his suit and tie, all attention was drawn to his face, which was boiled lobster red. Passengers that approached him with a concerned, "Are you all right?" Stumbled back from the intense radiating heat coming off him from his stylish attire. The wife, after a series of such questions, finally snapped, "Yeah, he's fine." The next day, the last day of the cruise, instead of going to Bottom Bay Beach, wearing the new bikini that she had purchased in Martinique, the wife wore a hard hat and was required headgear for the Harrison Caves of Barbados. This is a sightseeing tour that hardly anyone was aware of, but the only one that kept a mournful and scarlet-hued Brian away from anything remotely topless. Who knew the Caribbean sun would be so strong, he muttered. His wife did not respond. She had developed a headache, a symptom of the well-known head-shaking syndrome. Brian, having shed an entire body's worth of skin, sighed and solemnly agreed that indeed his wife had failed in this particular wifely duty. All right, thank you very much for that tropical destination story. That was awesome. Now we're going to head out to the lake for Appies with Chappy. I'm going to make a banana daiquiri, and then we're going to have some appetizers by the lake. So check it out. Aloha and welcome to Chappy's Tiki Bar. Today I'm going to make a banana daiquiri. So I'm going to start with a ripe banana. I'm going to save one for garnish as well. And I'm just going to pop it all straight into the blender. So I got 2 tablespoons of sugar, a cup of coconut milk, and about a half a cup of lime juice, and And this is going to be a blended drink, so we're going to go lots of ice into the blender. And then I got 3 kinds of booze. Got some Sailor Jerry's spiced rum. Some white rum. And I have a banana liqueur to make it more banana-y. Alright, we'll give that a blend up.
Appies with Chappy by the lake.
Welcome to another edition of Appies with Chappy by the lake. It's raining out, but we're not going to let a little rain stop us from having our appetizers. Watermelon here. I'm going to grill the watermelon. We're just going to give it a little hit of olive oil, and then I'm going to wrap it in prosciutto, just put a little basil for garnish and some balsamic vinegar. So we're just going to grill the watermelon. Thanks for watching Chappy's Tiki Bar. Make sure you give me a like and subscribe at the bottom. And this is Mookie, and I'm Chappy, and we're saying life is hard. That's just the way it goes. But sometimes it goes the other way. See you next time on Chappy's Tiki Bar.